the internet, people have used it for years to raise money in various ways. Now, more recently, they're raising money for individual projects like making movies, creating new products, and getting marketing for design ideas for their projects. Now, some students are actually using crowdfunding to help pay college tuition. Can you do that? What is crowdfunding? What is crowdsourcing? And is there something in it for you? Joining us now, Justin Maddox, the founder and CEO of CrowdTrust. Justin, good to see you this morning.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Let's break it down, first of all, the big picture of crowdsourcing and crowdfunding. What's the difference between the two?
So crowdsourcing is the overall picture. Crowdfunding is a niche within crowdsourcing.
So what else would exist in crowdsourcing besides the funding aspect?
Well, there's the crowdfunding, which is primarily donation rewards based, and then there's this new thing called crowd investing, which is where you're actually buying equity into a business, equity or debt in a business.
So the whole big picture is basically a whole bunch of people coming together through the internet to all either contribute ideas or money.
Yeah, exactly. So it happens primarily over the internet. It's been brought about by the change in social media. So it's existed in some forms in the past, but it came about in the mid-2000s with the growth of Facebook and Twitter.
So if we talk about crowdfunding itself, it's just people pooling their resources to raise money. What are they typically using this for? What's being done?
So right now the biggest uses of crowdfunding tend to be art space. So you've got films, videos, games, that sort of thing, music. But like I said, the next wave is going to be more business oriented. So you're going to have actual startup founders, small business owners getting their initial seed money for their businesses through crowdfunding.
And how, in a nutshell, does this work? I mean, you study the trends when it comes to this now through your group. But how does it work? Is it just basically a big collective social media campaign?
Yeah, so it happens primarily on platforms. The biggest platform is Kickstarter. They just came out with some numbers a couple weeks ago. They did $480 million in pledges last year, which is pretty astounding, with over 3 million people contributing. But I'm sorry, what was your...
Well, that's what I was curious. If it's just basically you put the idea out there on a site like Kickstarter, or do you have to manage your own campaign?
No, it's actually really in depth. So that's the misconception that people just show up and they magically get money. But no, it's not. It takes a lot more work than that. The first thing is you have to have an idea or a project that's really worthwhile, something that's going to inspire people to join in. The second thing is you've got to have a passionate person to lead that campaign. So that person's really going to have to put themselves out there. They're going to have to tweet. They're going to have to put all their information on Facebook. And they're really going to have to inspire people to invest in a campaign. And the third thing is having a really, really strong network. So building a network before the campaign, and then once the campaign goes live, reaching out to their network and having them share the mission in trying to get this campaign itself.
As it evolves, we're seeing it get more and more creative. And one of the things that we just mentioned was a couple of students across the country and here in Washington reaching out to try to get tuition paid for. Is there a limit as to whether it's the law that limits it or the internet that limits it as to what is acceptable and what's not?
Yeah, so that specific type of crowdfunding is donation-based, and it's not regulated. There is no limit, but there are practical limits. The average donation campaign is only about $2,300, so it's pretty unlikely that you're going to get significantly over that. There have been a number of examples that are in the millions. The Pebble Kickstarter watch, which was $10 million, is a good example. But typically, when you get that big, you have to offer a product or a service or something like that.
Which is what you see a lot of times if somebody's releasing a CD or recording.
Right.
If you donate so much, we'll give you one of the first hot off the presses type thing.
Right.
But there's nothing to stop people from saying, I'm just looking for your donations for going back to school or whatever it is.
Yeah, so specifically in terms of tuition and stuff like that, there are no limitations. Now, if you're talking about selling equity in a business, that is a regulated market, and there's a lot of complicated stuff going on over there.
All right, how big do you see this growing up?
So it was projected to be a $5.1 billion industry worldwide at the end of 2013. We haven't gotten all the final numbers, so we don't know exactly what it is, but that's up from $2.7 billion. So it's growing really, really fast. And like I said, we're about to enter a new era where we have equity-based crowdfunding, which is a huge new opportunity more in this coming year.
All right, let's talk more about that in the future then as we grow more and more. Justin Maddox, founder, CEO of CrowdTrust, and you're down at 1776, right?
Yes,
This is
yes,
incubator.
yes.
Which is great, Northwest DC. All right, Justin.